Okay, let's be honest, if you've never been specifically curious about Russian culture, Russian history, or just Russian people, most likely the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear of Russia is vodka, or alcohol in general, right? But is it a fake or a true stereotype, and has it ever been? Let's check it out. Well, any national stereotype arises in the process of familiarizing peoples with each other, right? This is the only way how English people can find out that they are prim, and the Italians can find out that they are impulsive and loud. And this is how Russians have become worldwide famous as great drinkers. For example, this is how German traveler of the first half of 17th century, Adam Alearius, described drinking in Russia. The vice of drunkenness is so widespread among these people in all classes, both among spiritual and secular, among high and low, men and women, young and old. And when you see drunk people lying in the mud on the street, you don't pay attention, so common it is. Alearius believed that nowhere else people drink as much as in Moscovia. A similar message was left by the French mercenary Jacques Margaret in the early 17th century. They are not committed to work, they are addicted to drunkenness. The author of probably the most famous notes on Russia in Europe, Russia in 1839, was French Marquis Estolphe de Custine. And that's what he said: "The greatest pleasure of Russians is drunkenness, in other words, oblivion. Poor people, they need to be delusional to be happy." Okay, and what about vodka, which is the most famous Russian drink? Imagine, in 16th and 17th century, it hasn't even spread yet. People mainly drank honey, kvass, zbidin or braga, which are like beer, but not like vodka. And by the way, it was also noticed by some international travelers, for example Italians, Contarini and Perkmota. Their drinks of beer most often made from barley and honey, wrote Perkmota. So why did Europeans later write about Russian drunkenness? Did they just lie? No, they did see a lot of drunks, and just because of the circumstances, they made the wrong conclusion that drinking is a Russian national passion. It was just common in Russia to drink for some celebrations and special events, and that's why Russians drank with their guests, not because they were used to drink every day. Well, it doesn't seem a good idea to trust some personal views on the whole country, right? So let's check the early statistics that we have. And it says that an average Russian person drank 3.1 liters of alcohol per year, which is 3 times less comparing to British or German, and many times less comparing to Italians or French. And I do understand that many people might say, okay, but we don't care about those good old times. What about modern Russia? Do Russians drink right now? To those people I can say that 90s, due to the collapse of Soviet Union, was the hardest period for Russians. But even in 90s, Russia was not the world leader in drinking. And according to WHO data from 2018, Russia is not even in top 25 of the most drinking countries of the world. It might surprise you, but modern Germans, Spaniards, French, English, Poles and Romanians drink more than Russians. And obviously there are many Russians looking this way, but there are many Americans looking like this, and many French looking like this, but I don't believe that these people are given the proper representation of their countries and their nations. Don't forget to like the video and leave the comment below, because I reply to every single comment, and of course to subscribe to learn more about what Russia really is.